live from Music City, Nashville, Tennessee. This is your motivational, sensational, inspirational, educational, keenly awaited, highly anticipated edition of the afternoon swing trading floor with your humble host, Jeremy Alexander Newsom, with another daily dose of mentally delicious brain food, reminding each of you to love life, live life, and trade it. What's going on, folks, from around the world? How is everyone doing on this Thursday? I'm pumped up. Ram says, let's go. I will. Just trying to be like you. Catherine Nails says, hi. What's up, Catherine? Brandon Grossman, you're new. How's it going, man? Or at least I just haven't seen your last name before. Bruce Thompson, what's up? Brent Olson in the building. How you doing, Brent? My buddy Mauricio says, hi, guys. What's going on? Uh-oh, ladies and gentlemen, we got trading royalty in the house. Maxine is here. Maxine, what's going on? Ram says, made 2R on web, so a good day for me. Yes, it was. Proud of you. My buddy Johnny says, what up, bro? How you doing, man? Christopher Johnson says, good afternoon. Hello, sir. Granny Hale. She says, Mr. Wonderful says, hi, y'all. Welcome, Granny. Eric says, hi, Jeremy. All right, folks. Thanks for the warm wishes. Love you all. So happy that you're here. Let's talk markets. Let's chat what we have to chat about. Type in a 1 if you can see me in person and see my screen. Both should be working. And my computer is actually not breaking. That's impressive. If the circling fan, puts you to sleep, let me know, but I'm going to keep it on for right now. Ram says, all I do is follow your teaching from the hour chart trading, and it's fun. It is, man. Super fun. Love the hourly charts. Let's go talk more about it. Got to look at the broader markets today because some interesting stuff happened, folks. At least I feel like it did. Look at the Qs. Stopped in its tracks. Had a retest gap, right? White candle gapping up, slammed its head against its previous high, and we have filled the gap out today. Now, the good news is we could easily bounce tomorrow. Since this is a retest gap, we could just trade right down to the 20 and be back off to the races. We'll figure out if that was going to occur. It may or may not. It's just going to be all dependent on how strong this resistance holds. So we need a rest on the Qs anyway. I'm totally fine with this happening. This wave rotation here is some form of a 3 anyway. Right? So remember, with timing, the market, it's very important to at least try to figure out what wave structure some kind of 1, 2, 3. And inside of that, you have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And inside the 5, you have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is an A, B, C corrective wave. So I do think we go lower. Yes. I do think we go lower and at least a little bit. So we will see. Here's the SPY. And the SPY is a pretty solid bearish candle today. Pretty solid. Now, I know a lot of you aren't on Slack yet. And in the morning day trading room, I did mention to people that I was going to be buying some 274 put options on SPY. I mentioned yesterday, well, not yesterday, but the day before yesterday and a few other days that if we closed below 273.88, that especially if it happened this week, that we're going to have a really, really choppy summer. And it looks like we're going to do that. In fact, this is an evening star reversal. This is a retest gap. That's the thing we have to consider. This gap right here is a retest gap that occurred. And we gapped down, we retested. This is a nice natural wave rotation. I wanted this exact thing to occur, and I wanted to do this. Now, that doesn't mean that I control the market. That just simply means if something is going to look and move a certain way, you're going to have a pretty general idea of what it's going to do. And if it doesn't move and look that way, then it probably won't. So since the SPY is at 274, definitely not saying it's going to go to 0, but we'll see. Robert says, why is it called a retest gap? So in some of my lectures, Robert, I say it's a retest gap. The name is pretty much irrelevant, but the reason why is because these black candles are created by short sellers, right, Robert? And how do short sellers exit their position? They buy to cover. So at some point, the stock's going to go down. They're going to buy, and they're going to create that retest, and then the stock is likely going to continue in the direction of the gap, at least for a short period of time. It's the exact same on a bullish gap, right? White candle gapping up. You have people who are taking profits. You're going to get that retest, and you're going to get that momentum like that. Frank says, do I have enough frequent trader points for real life trading ball cap? You know, you might. Email Ashley. Let's find out. Email her and say, hey, how many do I have? And let's go from there. Robert says, so like a short squeeze. No, not like a short squeeze at all. The exact opposite, actually. It's short squeeze is when that would be a gap and go. So if these candles right here, if we gapped above here, everyone in these candles would be trapped and they'd be forced to buy to cover, and that would cause the stock to go higher. But since it was a gap down, right, and all these traders in green are profitable, it's retesting. For instance, what is being retested? The actual gap itself, right? So remember, the terminology retest often refers to that curvature, that S curve that comes into a move. You can call it a retest, a retracement, a pullback. You can call it an S curve. You can call it Fibonacci. You can call it a wave. You can call it a dip. You can call it whatever you want. It's this pattern right here, this very common wave rotation that will occur. And it's retesting its original gap. It's the sentiment that is important. Granny says, where do you enter it? That's the beautiful thing, Granny. We get to find out. So we're going to be looking at some examples today of where we can get in. Today on the SPY, here's how I played it. So what I'll show you is when I was looking at the SPY this morning, we were talking about, this was in the day trading room. And for those who could, it was a very fast morning, but this was the 5-minute chart. And the 5-minute chart, when the market opened, we started trading down and there was a little bit of a support here. And then there's a little bit of a support here, right? There's the support. So if you were playing a retest from previous days, you would be looking for, honestly, pretty much what occurred today. That breakdown to occur. So if you go to a bigger time frame, you'll actually see it. So here's an hourly chart. And when you find these gaps are going to help you get an idea of what to do. So if I turn off the pre-market volume for a second, so you'll notice this is the hourly time frame, and this is the original gap right here. Right, that's the gap. So what's being retested is just that rotation. See how it comes up? And that doesn't mean that you have to short right there, but it means that you can have at least the idea or the preference or the opinion or the plan that it likely could roll over there. And if you know why something's going to happen and you have a general idea of where, then it will help you become a little bit of a better trader, right? So in that situation, when it traded down, traded up into the moving averages, that would have been the short, realistically. Now, the thing is, I was actually comfortable with all of that happening. This was still a counter trend trade. So when I'm trading counter trend, that's usually day trading. Maybe you could do futures, maybe you could do some options. But once this move happened right here, this full-on retest, and we started breaking down, right? This was a bullish candle with a lower shadow. This was the support from the previous day. So when that support broke, when all that support broke, that's why we got that sell-off. Had to sneeze. So that's why we got that sell-off today, because we just broke a lot of that hourly support. So you're going to see a lot more examples of those today. Here's the Qs. And on the Qs, again, white candle gapping up. So this was a bullish retest gap, meaning you would expect exactly what happened today. White candle gapping up, trading to a resistance. All the people who bought here are going to sell it for a profit and cause the stock to roll down. Once the stock starts rolling down, you're going to be looking for some potential bullish movement down in this particular area. So, again, that's trading the hourly chart. So on the Qs, I mean, we made a new all-time high just yesterday. That's where all the newbies hopped on. So I'm not saying this is going to get bad. I don't think it's going to get bad, but we could experience some selling in the next few days. And I love when we get some quick selling because it's really fun for day trading. It's really quick for options. I'm not saying the market's going to go to zero. I truly don't think we're going to free fall. If anything, we likely trade down into here, probably the 50, and then we bounce. That's kind of what I'm expecting. So, yeah, tomorrow's going to be a very big day. Next week is going to be a super important week. And I hope we're all still together trading because I'm going to help navigate each and every one of us to a really comfortable spot. So again, IWM on the Russell gapped up to a new all-time high yesterday. That's where all the newbies hopped on, right? They finally felt that that was the time to get in bullish right here. Because none of these other times were times to get in bullish, but right there, that was it. So they finally got in, only to get hosed today. And yeah, I think a little bit more of a pullback is coming on the IWM, but it will be a comfortable pullback. It will be a resting pattern. This is going to be a phenomenal time to go and find something that's doing something different than the broader markets. Marilyn says the pattern following the all-time high in the NASDAQ last 2 times has been a deeper correction. Yep, you're absolutely correct, Marilyn. That's a great pattern to recognize. So this time when it made an all-time high back over here, it really pulled back. But the biggest challenge, even though you're absolutely correct, this was an all-time high, 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 this was an all-time high. So how do you know that this one's going to be the one that's going to have the really, really big pullback? My argument would be mostly because it had that giant extension, right? After a long enough period of movement, you're going to have a much bigger pullback. So I'm probably going to argue that this pullback will be smaller than this one, maybe half as big. So something like this to this would probably be from here to, yeah, about here. So I agree. I think it could pull back, but if we do pull back in the broader markets, I'll be prepared for that. And we'll play some quick bearish moves, maybe even have a bearish trade out there, even though the other one didn't work for some odd reason. So yeah, it'll be fun to find out. And today is Transportation Thursday. So here's the IWM. Marilyn says measured move was the same. Just saying. Hey, I love it. I'm ready. I'm game in any direction. If the market moves, that's all I need. Up or down. If it goes sideways, I'll just do a lot of options and day trading, but all I need is movement. Up or down, I'm ready. So I appreciate that. Yes, if we really crush, game time. But I will still buy the bounce regardless. This is the IOIT, and this is a really interesting and kind of a cool candle. This is the transportational ETF, and you got some solid resistance right here. You do have a gap and go right there. So there are some people trapped, and you have a nice little high wave candle right here. So if the IOIT closes below the low of today's candle, we'll probably get a little bit more of a pullback. But if we close above the high of today, that would be some bearish traders who are trapped. So we'll see if we can actually get the bounce off of that move. Jason Jackson emailed me earlier, and he said, I'm in the Qs, puts July 6th, and a sell around 168.62. So that's Jason's plan on the Qs. He's going to be looking at selling. Man, that's a solid move. So yeah, 168. Hope we get there. You'd be very happy with that trade if it gets down there. For instance, is it possible to set up a bearish and bullish trade on the same stock at the same time? Of course. Can't be in a bearish trade and a bullish trade with stock at the exact same time in the same account, but you can set up the trade for both at the same time. Absolutely. I do it all the time. Let's dive in to some stocks that we talked about yesterday. CLPS. So CLPS, what I did yesterday is we pulled it up. I said, man, this is a big move. And I was like, all right, let's play this and let's see if we can pull back and where we pull back to and all that kind of good stuff. And we did pull back today, obviously. Now, remember, yesterday it was gapping down. We could tell that yesterday, 24 hours ago. We knew that we were gapping down a little bit pre-market. So obviously I didn't take this trade because I didn't plan it for 18 hours. Here's the hourly charts. And yeah, I think I want this one off of the 50. 50 EMA on the hourly down to, was at 1036 by 712. So guess what has to happen now, folks? I've adjusted the plan based on this candle. What do I have to do? That's right. I have to wait another 18 hours. I'll come back and look at it tomorrow. I'll see what she's looking like and what she's doing. But the good news is, just because I don't take a trade one day doesn't mean I can't take a trade the next. There's opportunities everywhere. So it just helps me from losing a lot and taking a lot of impulsive trades, because I am an impulsive person. I can make a lot of spontaneous decisions. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. I'm working on it. But we knew the gap was moved yesterday. And the other reason I'm being conservative is because we've increased like 400% in the last 2 or 3 days. So this is a white candle gapping up. It's a retest gap. That tells me, to help with my timing, I'm waiting for a retest. So remember, my friends, I never know if a retest is going to bounce, but it really helps with my timing. David, ooh, I like that. He says, I don't send emails until I've reread them the next morning. Nice. I don't have that luxury, but type in a 2 if you've ever gotten an email from me with a typo. A lot of 2s. Sorry about that, but no one's ever made fun of me about it. So, you know, I got to get stuff out quick sometimes. But that's when I worked at Nationwide, David, in the insurance industry, and I got a heated voicemail or phone call from a client. Yeah, I definitely waited another day before I called that person. So, especially if it was like a heated email or something I was annoyed about, you know. So yeah, very, very valid point. Thanks for sharing. So anyway, that's just one of my plans. And the reason that's my plan is simply because I know my weakness. I'm an impulsive trader. I love trading, and it's a very, very helpful thing to be patient. Cheryl says, so the S curl has to touch a moving average. It doesn't have to, but that's why moving averages work. So let me give you an example of some kind. In this particular trade, what causes most people is they are taught to wait for confirmation, which means they want the stock to trade down to the 10, give some moving averages, and then bounce, and then they get in, right? But here's the question that I have. Who the heck are the people getting in right there? Can you guys ask me that question? Who gets in there? Who gets in at the 10? Why do they get in cheaper than me? Why can't I get in there? And so I started thinking to myself, years ago, I was like, I don't think I need confirmation. I want to get in on that discount. The thing is, I don't have any fear of, is it going to work? I know this pattern works. It's just a matter of time. So yeah, I love it when an S curve hits a moving average, and I use the candlesticks, and I also use the x-axis. Is this the x-axis or the y-axis? I think this is the y-axis. Yes, the y. Okay, I forgot for a second. So I use the y-axis, that's the price axis, to determine how far the stock has already gone. Right? So when I'm using the price action, that helps me with my timing, because, ladies and gentlemen, are you going to buy a stock that's up 300%? Now, here's the funny thing. People do it all the time, but I broke it down for a trader like this the other day, and he really liked this example. So let me try it again for you. How much does a Snicker bar cost in your part of the world? You know, one of those Snicker bars, nougat, caramel, peanuts, $1.65. Okay. So let's say you walk into a grocery store and the very next day, they're $10.19. Are you going to buy that Snicker bar? I know you guys like Snicker bars. I do too. It's my favorite candy, but you got it's the last one. Let me buy it right now. Anyway, all I'm trying to get at is, are you going to buy it simply because it's up in price? Think about stocks like any other item, okay? Think about stocks like any other. It's just a stock. So if I can look at the y-axis and see that this stock has increased massively, right? Massively, that says to me, all right, I'm not going to buy here. If anything, I'm going to sell right there. Let me buy the pullback. So anyway, that's just kind of my take on CLPS. We're going to look at it again tomorrow, and that's that. Next on the list, Camping World. Now, Camping World was a swing trade I was looking at intently. And it actually does look like we're gapping down a little bit right now. So we have 5 white candles in a row. What type of gap do we have today, ladies and gentlemen? So retest gap, exactly. It's a white candle gapping up. So now let me come into the hourly. Yeah, that would be buying right off of the 50. Now let me come over here to my swing trade journal. So we got AMAT has filled. This is a new swing trade that I posted in Slack, in TradingView, and in the day trading room, and in the worksheet. I know some of you don't have the worksheet yet because you don't subscribe to Real Life Trading, but when you subscribe, you will get this. I did get stopped out of Cisco today as well. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. Let me wait one more day. Now, the reason I'm making this decision is not based on the trade setup. It's really based on risk. It's based on risk. Granny says, why wouldn't you use the daily chart? This is the daily chart right here, Miss Hale. This is it. So realistically, at this juncture, I have a lot of risk on the table. I could lose on BABA. I probably will lose on BABA. I'm hoping I don't. And I also want to see what some other stocks are doing before I take CWH. Let's put this one on the list for tomorrow, see what some of my stocks look like. And if some of them look like they're working a little bit better, right? So let's say that QD starts working a little bit better, and Pivotal starts working a little bit better, and then BABA starts working a little bit better, and then AMAT starts working a little bit better, then I could probably set that trade up. But right now, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 R's of risk on the table with 2 possibly ready to go. So we're going to kind of have to see. So that's pretty much all I got. I do have AMD on the list right there, Mr. Paul. It is there in blue, right there. Someone else asked for a look in video. Brent says, if you think you're going to lose on something but haven't, why not cancel the trade? Because what if I win on it? So you're telling me that I can foretell the future, Mr. Olson. You know how many times I thought I was going to lose on the trade only to see it work the next day? Let's see some 7s. Type in a 7 if that's ever happened to you. If you've ever gotten into a trade, got out because you thought you're going to lose only to see it work the next day. It's happened. So I can't foretell the future. I have a plan and I have to follow that plan. So what I do, Brent, and you've been asking great questions, man, is I have a quantitative amount of time. I have a quantitative amount of time before I can move stops. Why is that? Why would I have a quantitative amount of time? Because then I get to remove variables. I get to remove variables. Trading is all about removing variables. This is just my view of the world and my view of the market, but I'm pretty good at it. So in a constantly changing, ever moving, ever adjusting world, a lot of people are like, you should also be always changing and always moving. I disagree entirely. Because if you're always trying to adjust to something that's always adjusting, how do you know what's working and what's not? Maybe you're guessing right, maybe you're guessing wrong. Right? So my thought is, I come up with a quantitative approach. Marilyn says, I'm so bad at spelling. I'm going to talk about that in just a second. I come up with a quantitative approach that says, here's how long I want to be in the trade before I move my stop. So that way I know if I follow the rules or not. And if I follow the rules, then thumbs up. That's all that matters. Because I never fully know what's going to happen in the future. That's the thing. So I always tell myself, I just verbally spill it out. Yeah, I think I'm going to lose on this trade, But what does that help me do? If I do lose on the trade, that makes my brain go, hey, you knew it was going to happen, so not that big of a deal. You said it yesterday, so you shouldn't be really that upset about it, you know? And it makes my brain go, yeah, I guess you're right. But if the trade works and the next day, then I get happy and I move my stop and I just follow my plan. So that's my view of trading. Is that right or wrong? I mean, it's been working for a lot of people for a long time, so we will see. Ram says, Blake and I decided that if I break one more rule, no screen for 2 days. Tell Blake to make that rule a little bit more difficult, man. That's an easy pain. That's too easy. No screen time? He's taking it easy on you. You negotiated? All right, that'll be an okay one for the first time, but after that, it's got to get a little bit worse. You got to increase it, man, because that's not painful. No one cares about not being in front of the screen for 2 days. That's a vacation for most people. John says, what does it mean when it states canceled in the trading journal? It means that it was never taken. Yep, that is correct, my brother. If it was canceled, that just means that we never took the trade. We set it up and it just didn't fill for whatever reason. One other thing I want to talk about, Marilyn was talking about I was bad at spelling. And then I'm going to get into some stocks, I promise. So me being bad at spelling, I was in a job interview. The last job interview I was in was 6 years ago. And they asked me, what are my 2 weaknesses? Does anybody want to know what I said? That's a classic cliche job interview. What are your 2 weaknesses? And people will go, I'm a perfectionist and I work too much. I don't think those are weaknesses. Anyway, my answers were spelling and I have very weak thumbs. My thumbs are incredibly weak. I have a strong grit, but individually I have a very weak thumb. I don't know why. If you ever meet me and you want to thumb wrestle, you'll figure out I just have a very weak thumb. And spelling, I can't spell. Sorry. I'm a very phonetic person and nothing is spelled phonetically. So it frustrates me, but it is what it is, I guess. Granny says, how do you get the trade journal? This trade journal is included with your subscription to Real Life Trading. There was a ticker CSC. I don't think that was the right one. Is it CGC? It's probably CGC. I'm going to say CGC. It probably is that. Canopy Growth. Type in a 2 if you're making money on this one. Christine says, and then you give training on how to use it, right? The trade journal, sure. I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. It's already built in, but yeah, we can do that. It's really plug and play. So who's typing a 2? I have no 2. I'm not in this one, but Charles, Tim, Jacob, Christopher, Sylvan, and Francois are in Canopy Growth. Well done. I know my buddy Adam is here as well. So Canopy Growth, I mean, honestly, fans, if you're in it, stay in it. Is all I can say. Play the dip. If you're not in, there's a really good amount of volume, tons of white candles. I'd probably try to buy it at $32.79. Anybody want to guess how I picked that price? Joseph says, I'm a hand specialist by trade. Work on your shoulders, forearms, and elbows to get your digiflex to exercise your fingers. Get a digiflex. All right. Hand therapist. I like that, Joseph. Now, I will just throw this out there so that we're on the same page. My weakness of thumbs has never really held me back on anything. So, other than thumb wars, that's about it. Christopher says, Canopy just broke an all-time high. So anyway, here's this resistance right here based on that wick. If you're looking at playing a pullback, that's where I would. I'm not going to personally play this one just because I can't be in everything, but Canopy Growth. I mean, if you're playing it, and if for some reason, either morally or financially, you don't want to play it, that's cool. That's fine. You don't have to. Tons of people that do it. It's a lot of volume, gorgeous breakout, and that's really all I need. Brandon says, I was born with no thumbs. So you have very weak thumbs as well. You have negative thumbs. Born with no thumbs. Here's ticker symbol X for US Steel. I was talking about this one yesterday because I was looking at doing a put sale, and I was asking this stock to stay under this candle today and then break out. I think with all the tariff news on US Steel, I'm going to wait on this one. Because I talked about it yesterday, and I was like, you know what? I want this to be an inside day candle, and if it's an inside day candle, I'll play it bullish. I do think you can get a bullish trade on US Steel at some point. Let's wait 2 or 3 more days. I'll put it on the list for Monday. And just to reiterate, ladies and gentlemen, this trading room is not really special. It's just a lot more people. I do this every day, Monday through Friday. I'm not doing anything special for you guys. The way I'm doing it right now is the way I always do it. Just so that you know that. This is how it is every day. Graham says, isn't this a very choppy chart? It is. Very sideways. Yep. Very, very sideways. So I think that's why I agree with you totally. It's a good one to wait on. And it also could be a good one to sell some puts. I'm looking at doing some option plays, maybe even a condor. Ooh, iron condor. I haven't done one of those in a while. Type in a 7 if you have no idea what an iron condor is. I hope to see a lot of 7s because I can teach you for free. I have a lot of classes out there for free. It's cool. Let's see. How's that for a sales pitch? Don't buy it. It's free. Just go check it out. All right, 30. No, there's no money for July. Catherine says, what other stock sectors will be affected by tariffs? Can anyone answer that question? I would like some other people's opinion. Throw it out there and I'll answer those questions for you, Catherine. Brent says, as a newbie, is it best to focus on trading bullish or bearish? Bullish, usually. Robert says, agricultural. Gotcha. Santi's in the building. What's up, Santi? Baba and Apple says, Fitsum. Grain sorghum, says Robert, so agricultural. Matthew says, how would you do a bull put on X? There's no premium right now, so I wouldn't. But a bull put is you sell a put here and you buy a put there. It's pretty much how you do it. Neil says, pretty much any stock that isn't strictly digital technology. Yeah. So people tell me Red Hat's moving after hours, so we'll pull Red Hat. Anyway, US Steel, no trade. We're moving on. Very simple. Sonic. Oh, man, this is the time to buy Sonic. Who's getting in? The funniest thing is, here's the funniest thing. Type in a 7 if you bought here years ago. If you would have bought here, no problem. Before you start learning what the market, my hands up, man, because that's exactly where I would have bought. Exactly. This is the time. Angela says 7 months ago. Get out of here. Yeah, that was, I mean, it's brutal. So Sonic, yeah, I would not be buying where Sonic is. It obviously had a beautiful breakout, a gorgeous gap just a little bit ago. So here's the daily chart, and this is such a beautiful gap. It is a retest gap, and this one didn't retest at all. Just cranked out. So this retest will be fun. The cool news on Sonic is this is a breakout of a distribution phase. Let me go back in time to see how much data this has been on the chart. Oh, all-time high. Ladies and gentlemen, guess who has 2 weak thumbs and would have lost that bet if someone had said to me that Sonic would have made new all-time highs this year? This guy. I would not have thought this chart looked like this. This would be a long-term play, right? Because this is the monthly chart. Each candle is a month. This chart is my life. That is 30 years long, pretty much. So, yeah, a little bit of a retest and then a bounce. Sonic, bullish from here. If you are in long-term, highly consider staying in. If you are not in long-term and you love Sonic, know how they make money, and appreciate their product, be an owner rather than just a buyer. Hashtag those shakes. Robert says, what do you consider long-term for Sonic? So I'll answer that question with another question. So we're looking at when I come back to Sonic, we're looking at a monthly chart. So 12 candles represents a year. So what do you think, Mr. Christoph? If you had to guess. Angela says, how do they make money? So I don't know if they're in Canada, but they are like a milkshake fast food drive-through company. And people on roller skates roll out to your car and serve you food. So it's like a drive up. There's no real restaurant. You kind of park and they roller skate to your car. But Mr. Robert Christoph was asking about a year, at least a year, at least. Yep. So this chart we're looking at right here is 30 years long. So I would probably say 3 to 4 years is what I would consider to be longer term on Sonic. Now, again, some of you might have a family member who works there, or some of you might have worked there before at a past career, or whatever the case is. So anyway, that's just my analysis. Buy the dip and long term, it looks really good. Angela and Pam said, so it's a take from a 1950 A&W. Yeah, pretty much. They just stole it. It's the American version of that. We steal a lot of things from Canadians. Under Armour. UAA. This is also the monthly chart. Here's the weekly. I like that. That's kind of a cool looking candle. And here's the daily. Wow. So that would not have triggered 2340. Okay, the pressure is building on Under Armour. Jacob says, is that an S curve? You got it. Look at you, my man. You're getting this. High five. Boom. Also, this is one as well. Right here. White candle gapping up. Retest. So this is just a little bit of a smaller one. Now, will it bounce from here? No idea. But if it will, it'll be here. Why didn't I just buy it blindly off the 20? I'm not personally trading Under Armour. This is a trade that someone else is looking at. So that's the only reason I didn't really buy it off the 20. I think a trader did who was playing this. Not only is the 20 here, but you also have the 100 on a weekly chart is here at 22.55. So if you're buying here, maybe it bounces, maybe it doesn't. The thing is, and I will just throw this out there, this stock is coming back to life, ladies and gentlemen. If I go to a monthly chart, look at this monthly. Type in a 3 if this is a healthy pullback. Even though it might have been terrifying for some traders, depending on where you got in. I mean, if you're doing this to this, it's a large pullback, but it is healthy. 70-ish% of the whole wave and has a lot of room to go higher. Everyone thought Under Armour was dead in the water around 13. And I made fun of you on this one yesterday, Justin. So that was forever ago. Anyway, so there are some people keeping an eye on Under Armour. What is actually very interesting now that I'm looking at it is you have the 100 on a monthly chart here at 2170. And you have the 100 on a weekly at 2255. So I think that's interesting on Under Armour. I kind of dig that. And if we're looking at buying this one bullish, this could also be a stock. Type in a 4 if you're a parent or a grandparent and you got kids or grandkids. I'm not going to type in a 4. I have nieces and nephews, but some of them probably like Under Armour products. And if they do, you could put in some shares for them or have them trade this stock, try to get them interested in Under Armour. Under Armour and Nike are two clothing brands that a lot of younger people really appreciate and understand. So this could be a stock that you also help them to kind of learn a little bit about the company. You could buy them 10 shares and just say, hey, this money is yours. Do whatever you want to with it. Whatever you want, just an idea. It has moved strongly. Yes, it has moved very far already. So I would like a little bit more of a pullback, but Christopher says, why do you use a white candle and black candles instead of red and green? That's a good question. So the red and green candles to me were like a psychological thing. I do use red and green in Think or Swim. So I can use both. But it came down to a lot of people thought red was bad and green was good. And to me, it's like, dude, it's just all black and white. And when I said that once, someone was like, you can put your colors at black and white. And I was like, really? So there you go. That's pretty much it. A lot of people just thought green was good and red was bad. And I'm like, dude, you can make money any way the market moves, up or down. Just gotta learn the candles. So yeah, this is a beautiful window, aka gap. Is my girl Marilyn. Marilyn, you've been trading for a while, I can tell. You're a vet. And I like that. Need more vets in this room. Can never have enough. Can never have too many smart people in the same place. So anyway, I like that. I like the move. This was really the candle that got the party going right there. That was the shots of tequila for the stock. If you want to get the party going, if it's about to be a throwdown, you got to break out that bottle. And that was it for Under Armour. Anyway, that's enough analysis on that stock. Next on the list, wow, I'm behind. AMAT. This is a new setup. We talked about this trade in depth yesterday. I was talking about it gapping up, and I wanted to play this bullish. I talked about that yesterday. I did watch AMAT bullish for about the first 30 minutes, and then I just took it off. So here's what the first 30 minutes looked like. Here's your pre-market data right here. So it's a gap and go. I was ready to be more aggressive, right? So again, this is just the pre-market resistance, pre-market support. You had a white candle with an upper shadow. I liked that. You had a black candle, an inside black candle with an upper shadow. I liked that. And it just never broke higher. So I didn't trade it. And then as it came back into support, I was like, I like this gap. Let me swing trade it. So we set up an official swing trade on AMAT, and this is active as of right now. 48.95 by 47.16. If you want to use options, you're more than welcome to. If you want to trade shares, debit spreads, whatever you want to trade, however you feel comfortable, cool. Will this trade work? Probably not. It's coin flip, usually, unfortunately. But we can mitigate risk and we can get an idea of why we're going to flip the coin. I do like it on the hourly, actually. It looks good to me. That's why we're in. I like this wave structure. I like this little S curve right here. I like the S curve right here. Looks nice. John, I was talking about that on Mentorship Monday. So let me send you that video. And if you don't mind, when you get time to check that video out. Because again, this is day 4 of the open house. And where are we? This is loading slow. So I was talking about kind of like my 13 steps to analyze a swing trade. And I can't explain it quickly, but I will throw it to you because I usually do the same things every time. Now, keep in mind, though, John, I've looked at a lot of these stocks before. So if I don't look at a monthly chart, it's because I already know what the stock looks like. Some of you don't know what the monthly chart looks like. That's another reason why I'll throw it up there every now and then. But let me throw this video your way. If anybody else wants it, you're welcome to know. Marie says, you did not do puts at the open. On AMAT, no. It was a bullish gap and go, and I thought it was going to go higher, right? Because this is a morning star pattern right here at a support, and this is almost a perfect morning star. You have a black candle here, you have a black candle here. They have equal highs. So that gap up, I was actually wanting to go do calls. So no puts for me. But tomorrow is Friday expiration. If you want to trade options, tomorrow's going to be the day to be there. It's my favorite day of the week. Next on the list is Axion Enterprises, I think, AAXN. And John P, if you can let me know if that link works for you. I just want to make sure you got it okay. So Axion Enterprises, this is my buddy Charles Wade. He said this is his biggest position. Sylvan is loving it as well. And we are about to enter a small distribution phase, most likely. So this made a new all-time high. And it's about to just chop around and rest a little bit more. We're probably going to come into the mid 50 price range, not mid 50, like the 50 EMA. So you have a support here, you have a resistance here. You're likely going to chop around here on the hourly. So I know you're holding this one ride or die, Charles. This is your big boy. You could consider a covered call up here. And if it closes above the high of today, you could buy back that covered call. Unless it does that, I think it's going to chop sideways. EJ says, Jeremy, how do you know that it's a distribution phase and not going to continue higher? I look at the y-axis, my man. I look at the y-axis. How far has this stock moved? And it helps me get an idea, right? Because nothing goes up forever, not even Bitcoin. So at some level, a distribution phase has to happen without question. Every stock, every company, every move has a distribution phase. It just will occur. And where once you get enough extension like this, the stock is moving parallel to its moving averages right there. You know you're going to get that pullback, and this candle made that new high. This candle did make a new all-time high, but it's a pretty bearish candle. So I see the double bottom that you're looking at. Yep, there's the double bottom right there. But remember, this stock has gone from 24 to 68 since February. Hello. So, yeah, let it slow down a little bit. That's just kind of my thoughts. Granny says, why is Friday the best for options? Because I day trade them, and on Fridays, they're real cheap. So you can get some crazy cool moves. Pivotal Software. We are triggered in on Pivotal Software. I wanted to exit so badly yesterday at open. We were up about an R. I just didn't write it down. I can exit early as long as I write something down. Cheryl said she took profits yesterday. Hey, your profit. Falco says he exited today for a small gain. So there's Falco getting out for a small gain. The crazy part is you could have gotten out and gotten right back in because it hit the exact same trigger twice. So I'm very happy to know that some of you were profitable on that trade. I think this is also a pennant pattern, and I'm going to hold. I'm going to hold. Joe says, do you have the link for limit orders you put in this AM? The link for the limit orders. Throw that at me again, Joe. What do you mean? I'm not sure what you mean. Matthew says, it's not a double top. Could be. Anything is possible, right? I love this. Man, I love that rotation. It looks like a wave 4 to me. So wave 4s are usually like a consolidation, something like that. I love the hourly. So good news is we find out pretty soon if this trade works or not. I love this hourly pattern. So get ready to play it again. If you did get out and you want another trade at it, look at that pennant. Right back to a support. She could easily bounce out of here. We'll see what's up. So it's just my intermediate series videos, Cheryl. So let me come in here, and I have it on my notes to make a better, longer video about it. But these are going to be the videos. Where are they? Intermediate. And it's going to be the first few videos. I'll throw that your way. The first 4 are really going to be the ones. Ram says, when do you look at your stochastics? Never. All right, so that's PVTL. I love the pennant pattern. We'll see if she bounces. I like it. Still in, fingers crossed. AKAM. Good try. AKAM. What is this bad boy doing? Nothing really. Strong trends. I don't see much that blows me away. If I were to buy this one, I would buy it right about there. Old resistance there, old resistance there. John says, when do you decide to use options versus just buying straight stock? I almost always go with stock, John, because they don't expire. But when I do trade options is when I feel like there's going to be a really quick, fast, solid surge coming. Something like a move like this or a move like this. But you can make more money with stock, you know? So if I'm trading something that I have a hard time affording, like an Amazon or a Google, I'll trade options. I sell a lot of options. But yeah, man, you can make a lot of money on shares. I mean, I love trading options, don't get me wrong. So when I do it is when I feel like it's going to move very fast. Or I just don't have enough buying power. You know, if I run out of buying power. RAM hasn't figured out the browser. Option trading. Real life trading. Type that into Google, my man. It's free. Sylvan says, when we review option trade setups. So if I do an option, I do a lot of buying, a lot of selling, but all the trades that I do, I was supposed to type that into YouTube. All the trades that I set up, Sylvan. So for example, Dropbox bullish, VIP bullish, and AMAT bullish, or BABA or PVTL or QD, all 5 or 6 of these trades, you can play with an option if you want. I'm just setting up the trade. I'm saying, hey, this is what I'm going to do. This is where I'm going to get in and where I'm going to get out. And if you want to do it with an option trade, you are most welcome to do so. So RAM, that is one option. Those are all a lot of my free option classes. I do have some other classes out there with day trading weekly options and stuff like that. But go through all those, crush it. Someone says right on. Yeah, but I do the weekly options newsletters every Tuesday. So every week I have at least one options trade that I set up. And I also do a lot of option selling. So you'll get at least an option trade every week. Sylvan, just to answer your question. So anyway, I don't see much about AKM. It's obviously a very, very nice bullish trend. Personally, I would just like it much better at 77 than 81. Next on the list is KBH. What is this, KBH Homes? Yeah, KB Homes. KB Homes. Monthly chart. Whoa. Wowzers. Look at this double top on a monthly chart. Beautiful. Beautiful. Neil says, spot the housing bubble. Interesting that it happened before the 08 crash. This stock crashing. Look at this shooting star. And I think at one point I was like, I said to myself, I wouldn't buy after that candle, you know? So anyway, KBH, I would say buy the dip and let it trade into old resistance, new support at about 2170. 2170 would be a good pullback. If it makes it that low, it may or may not, probably won't. But earnings is coming up. What I can say, this is the daily chart on KBH. If you were going to get in, it honestly would be right above the high of this candle, right? So here's the support. Entry would be here. Stop would be there somewhere. Good trade up into the 100, 200. I could see that happening. KBH, we'll find out how she rolls. Salesforce, here's CRM. We had a really good swing trade on this one not too long ago. Got out for 2 Rs, and she's pulling back. So I'm pretty happy with that. Ooh, down 1%. 136.50. Hello. That's going on my list as a potential trade for tomorrow. Yeah, gapping right below the 10. Thank you. Does anybody want to be in the day trading room with me tomorrow? Friday morning, CRM. And the reason I say that is because it's just so small of a gap, right? It's just barely gapping down there. I don't know if it's going to hold until tomorrow, but I'm saying it could. A lot of you might remember yesterday, I gave a lot of you a day trade yesterday that did set up today perfectly. And that was on FedEx. So the trade setup that I mentioned yesterday, I'll go to the daily chart, right? Because we talked about this one yesterday. As I was breaking that support, I was like, guys, this had a very, very key support. Wait 5 minutes. And let's see if it bounces or holds. And this morning, this is the opening candle right here on FedEx. Boom. So you'll notice it took out the support from yesterday. And then it retested that support, all the money you wanted in the first 30 minutes on FedEx. And we talked about it 24 hours ago. So that's how you can even plan a day trade 24 hours in advance. Some people say it's impossible, but it's easily doable. You just got to go find some stocks that look like they have some momentum. Obviously, this thing had a big bearish gap down. And then here's the big takeaway. The big takeaway on FedEx was it had a big bearish gap down, and then it closed below the low of that candle. Type in a 1 if that candle was supposed to have bounced. Yeah, that candle should have bounced because it retested old resistance. So remember, this is a huge takeaway, folks. When the market doesn't do what it's supposed to, or when the market doesn't do what it should do, or same instance, if you can look at a stock and see, absolutely, people went bullish right there, for sure. And if they take out the low of this candle, they're trapped. And since it closed below that low, you know that if it breaks that low, there's nothing stopping it. So if you know other people are trapped, if you know the market's not doing what it should do or supposed to do, if you know people are trapped, take it in that direction, even if it's a short-term move. So that was the FedEx play that some of you got some plays on. The 200 simple is your next stopping spot for FedEx. I'm going to put FedEx on my list again for tomorrow morning because, again, that one could rock down. John, I'll try to do that tomorrow. I already covered IWM for today, my brother. So I'll put that on the list for tomorrow. Yeah, that was at the very, very beginning. Every day in the very first 10 minutes, I'll look at the broader markets. Joshua says, can you give a quick explanation for Neptune on price action? I'll look at it tomorrow. Okay, next on the list is Workday. Workday, a lot of traders have some put sales. This is an interesting close below a very bullish candle right here on Workday. And Workday is gapping down a very little bit tomorrow. I think I'm going to have to put Workday on my list also for tomorrow morning. Again, it's only gapping down 0.6%, but if it takes out this lower shadow, there is nothing happening bullish on Workday. Very short term. Again, tons of people have put sales on this one, so they don't mind it trading down to 118 or something like that. So if you have the put sale, I wouldn't even blink unless it closes below 128. But this candle to me looks a little on the soft side of bearish. So keep an eye peeled for a little bit of a bearish continuation. HubSpot, ticker symbol HUBS. HubSpot down 1.69% today. A little bit of a tweezer top. Perfect tweezer top on HubSpot. Wow. Joe from YouTube wants to look at OLED. All right, I'll put it on the list for tomorrow. Today is booked. Sylvan says, is there a video on selling naked puts? There is. Type in naked puts or type in put sales, real life trading. Actually, we'll post a video for you as well in the chat pane. There's tons. I got everything, man. Or girl. I don't know if Sylvan's a guy or girl. Could be either. Probably a guy, though. Catherine says, hey, now. I'm just saying it could, right, Sylvan? Could be either one. He says male. All right, cool. I'm just, if I saw you in person, I'm sure I would know. But, you know, on the screen, Aubrey. I have a best friend named Aubrey. Is it a guy or a girl? What do you guys think? Well, maybe best friend gives it away. Yeah, it's a guy, but, you know, yeah. But it could be a girl. But not really. Christian says, not with your fiance. Okay, whatever. Moving on. You get the point. What was this post in here? Actually, it posted the put sales link. Sylvan, just scroll up. Make sure you click on that. Cheryl says, my grandmother's name is Aubrey. Exactly. I mean, I'm saying some names can be a little bit of both. HubSpot, we're going to come back to this one tomorrow. That is a perfect tweezer top at an all-time high. I don't normally short stocks at all-time highs, but when I do, it's when I have a perfect tweezer top. Ram says, is a good candidate for a short. It is. All right, I had 4,626 requests for AMD today. And AMD, ladies and gentlemen, here's the secret wave count. Here it is. So for some of you getting in right now on AMD, I'm sorry. You chased it. No reason to get up there. This is the 3. We're about to get into a nice size wave 4. And eventually we'll get into a wave 5. Wave count on AMD. Just my thoughts. Now, when I go back to this, you'll be able to see it, I feel like. But AMD had moved very far, and everybody thought it was going to break out. But wait till I go to this weekly chart. Jacob says, I've been waiting for the bounce on AMD for 8 weeks. Well, the problem is, Jacob, 8 weeks ago, it did bounce. The time to get it was 8 weeks ago. Right? The best time to buy is when it's uncomfortable, not when you're excited. When you're excited because you're missing the trade, don't buy there. When you don't think it's going to bounce, that's usually a good time to be considering buying there. Granny says, how significant are wave counts? I think they're very significant, actually. I do. I think they are very, very helpful when it comes to timing. Karen says, tractor supply for tomorrow. Sure, man. That stock list is filling up big for tomorrow. So now when I do this, I will also draw a smaller wave. And that smaller wave will look like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's how I think I really nailed this one. So again, if we look at the the y-axis, the price point on AMD, this stock went from $9.50 to $17 in the course of 3 months. Now, I'm not that great at math, but that's almost a 100% return in less than 4 months on AMD. Now, look at the weekly chart. Why would you buy right there? You had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're not done yet. 8 white candles in a row on a weekly chart. When's the last time you ever got 8 white candles in a row on the weekly chart? It's been a long time. And not only that, but it broke above resistance and needs to retest resistance anyway. So for anyone who bought AMD right there, you chased it. And hey, it's good to know, right? It's good to know how you chase and what you did. So I'm looking at come down to around 1450. The signal 8 weeks ago to buy this was this gap right here. All the moving averages crossing, bullish candle. I mean, these are the times to get in. Green says, how about the daily chart? This is still the daily chart right here. So yeah, phenomenal bullish gap on AMD. A lot of people made tons of money through here, and now they're going to get another opportunity to pull back. I might be doing some put sales on AMD. I don't mind owning some shares, honestly, and I'll probably do them around 13. So just kind of throwing that out there. We'll come back to AMD a day or two, but I'm planning on doing a put sale. I'll put them on the list for next week, and I'll just put that there. Don't remind me. All right, Tesla. Marilyn says, let's look for another stock that's starting to form that spot. There's so many out there. Just throw them my way. I'm just looking at the stocks that you guys request. So Tesla, here's the weekly chart. And again, it already had its bounce as well off of the long-term moving average. Sylvan says, why sell a put if we think AMD pulls back? I'm not doing it yet, Sylvan. I'm waiting. But I don't mind selling a put because if AMD pulls back and I get put to stock, then I buy it low and I'm happy. Don't request your stocks now, right? By the way, we're not done. We're not finished yet. In a moment, the request will come in. Double bottom on Tesla, close above the neckline, good volume. If I'm looking at playing Tesla, I want to buy it down around 300. 300, 310, something like that. Again, beautiful bounce off the long-term moving averages on the weekly chart. A lot of real-life traders went bullish down there. This was a phenomenal signal down here back in late May. So, yeah, plus this is a retest gap right here, white candle gapping up. So for me on Tesla, I might day trade it bearish, potentially, but more than likely just going to let it come down to about the 310, 315 price range and then look to buy the dip. So I'll just Mr. Squiggles that. And now this doesn't mean it's going to happen, but it means if it does happen, then we can easily play it around there bullish. Christian says, you talked about retesting the 276 range, and it did. It certainly did. Boom, 276, once, twice, well, actually 3 times right there. And it was off. Yeah, man. Now, the crazy part is that 276 range has been there forever. Look at that. Look at that support. All right, Carvana. So I did do a put sale on Carvana for my option selling fans. Again, if you don't know anything about put sales, ladies and gentlemen, just give me 4 months of your time. 4 months of your time. Tesla's, Lita says on Tesla, what about selling a January 2020 $30 put on Tesla? I did not even think that there'd be money down there. January 2020. $30 put has $2. That's hilarious. Yep, looks good, Lita. I'm not going to do that trade personally, but only because that would tie up a little bit of margin. I'm with it. I am blown away that there's money at 30, but according to Thinkorswim, you could probably get $2 down there. That's amazing. Oh, man. That's funny. High five, Lita. Best put sale I've seen in a long time. All right. So we were looking at Carvana. So speaking of put sales, CVNA, I did a put sale. I have it open right now for $30 at 70 cents for July. So it's a little bit less than a month away. It's more than 20% lower than the stock is right now, and I'm getting paid 2% to own it. All of that falls within perfectly of my criteria. Plus, it's not a very expensive stock. It's a stock I wouldn't mind owning anyway. I've traded this one before. For those of you, type in a 2 if you remember me talking about the real life trading cruise. So we all got together at one point for the real life trading cruise, and everyone sat around. They go, okay, Newsom, I'm on this cruise. What stocks do I buy? And we had a few margaritas, and we had a few more margaritas, and we had another margarita. And then I was like, all right, guys, the two stocks to buy, Carvana and IQ. Those are the two. I told everyone, I was like, if you're on this cruise, buy those two. And everyone did. There was April. It was right there. And we all know what happened on IQ. Jacob says they had to loosen you up to get your secrets. Yeah, pretty much. Diego says, Jeremy, Carvana is good long-term buy and until cover calls on. Yep, I like it. I like the stock. I like the company. I like what they're doing. I dig it. Jeff says, what was that expiration on the Tesla 30 puts? January 2020. Scott, did not get my 70 cents yet, but it's still an open order. It has not filled. But just letting you all know, that's what I'm thinking. Lockheed Martin, ticker symbol LMT, traded down to a support today. And not saying Lockheed Martin will bounce, but if it does bounce, this is where it will occur. So for my traders who like Lockheed Martin, have a little bit of a bigger pocketbook, $30, $300 is a good support. Buy low, sell high. Here's the weekly chart, and it's out of support. Simple as that. Now, will it bounce off that support? I do not know. Personally, I want this to go a little bit lower. Double top, close of the neckline, it retests the neckline. It looks like it's going to fail. So if it does break this support, this is one that you would, or at least I would, play options on, John, to answer your question, because it is a little bit expensive, and I'm not going to short a dividend-paying stock. And also, if it really starts moving, it could be fun. So Lockheed Martin, I'm going to look on the list on Monday, just in case that support breaks. If the support doesn't break, I might even trade it bullish. But again, this is a really good support price, and it could most certainly double bottom right here. Would this be an uncomfortable place to buy Lockheed Martin? The answer, when we come back after this series of commercials. That would be it right there. So absolutely this could happen. It is an uncomfortable spot. The best traders are the ones that buy when they are uncomfortable, not excited. Raytheon Energy, RTN. So RTN actually broke that support and is down a little bit pre-market. So here's the daily, and there's a lot of people saying Raytheon Energy is a head and shoulders. I can't technically disagree. I'm just not a perma bear, and even if it is a head and shoulders pattern, it could just trade right down to 170 and then bounce. But what I'm saying is on RTN, it's simply hanging out and is breaking below support. So if I pull up to 10, 20, and 50 EMA, I like that trend. And if it bounces or pulls back, short it, but it's kind of out of support. I do like that it's gapping down tomorrow. I'm probably not going to short it tomorrow. But some of these war and peace stocks, ever since the North Korea thing with Trump, they've been pulling back because there's been less war than peace. And that's just at least my opinion. Maybe I'm an idiot, but I'm looking at the chart and it does not look that bullish. So we'll see. Southwest Airlines, we'd love to have you. Here's ticker symbol LUV. And Southwest Airlines finally having a bullish day. So it never took out this trigger for the protective put. I have about 7 traders in bullish on Southwest. That was the bullish candle right there. I do like this long-term as a stock. It does pay dividends. I love Southwest. I'm going to fly Southwest tomorrow on my way to Orlando. And I love that pop. So yeah, it's a warm, welcome move. And Cheryl says, I told you I love that airline. Be an owner. Buy low, sell high. It's out of support. You got a one white soldier last week. It's been dead in the water. Cheryl says you bought it today. Beautiful. So remember, it's all about time frames, right? When you own something and you want to own it for years, you don't really care about the fluctuations and movements. You're going to own it. You want to accumulate it. You want to hold that for 4 years, 5 years, 10 years, and try to have 3,000 shares or 30,000 shares, you know, something like that. We have a few Southwest pilots at Real Life Trading, and they have become immaculately wealthy in the last 3 to 4 years because they've been a pilot since 2006, 2007, just buying shares, buying shares, buying shares. So again, it wasn't a big deal back when it was at 8 in 2011. But if you're a pilot and you got 4,000 shares of Southwest, it's a big deal now, you know? So anyway, I like it here, and I love Southwest. They're one of the best airline companies, in my opinion. And long term, it looks like a good play. Short term, you'd have to put it on the hourly. I don't see much on the daily. Time is at 5:16. I'm always going long recently. Give it a little bit of time, but yes, I mean, put Southwest on your bullish watch list. It's low. No one's talking about Southwest being bullish right now. This is the time to start playing it. All right, I like it. Here is JD.com. Hi, my name's JD with JD.com. We're pulling back beautifully as expected and anticipated. And now the question is, will we bounce? If we don't bounce here, which it doesn't look like we will, and this is a phenomenal bounce off the 100 on a weekly chart. So the daily time frame, we closed below the 100 and the 200. Honestly, one of the two things on JD, either the pink or what I'm going to deem as the blue. And if it's the blue, consider yourself very lucky because that will be a phenomenal place to buy it, JD.com, and kind of go from there. Brent says, if you intend to hold a stock very long term, would you buy the dips over the years to accumulate? Yes. I would continually add every paycheck, every week, every month. Keep buying. That's what I do, at least. EJ says, limit buy at 35.74. Yes, if it gets down there, how amazing would that be? Now, what is interesting on Google is at a resistance. Shooting star did not close by that resistance, and this is a textbook evening star reversal. So what's interesting to me is this is a very good resistance, and earnings on Google. Again, guys, sorry if I'm going long. I usually go an hour, but there's a lot of people here who just want, you know, good analysis. So I'm going to give them some real value. July 23rd is earnings. Ooh, yeah. So we could do a bear call spread. 12.20 is $10.30. And then the other one, is 8.30. $2 on $10. That is 20%. Desi says, why not sell naked calls? If you want to send me some of your money in your account, Desi, I'll sell some naked calls on Google. I like that evening star reversal. So what I will do is spread trigger. $1 limit sell on spread if stock breaks below here. And then I won't worry about the spread at all unless we close above here. Spread. That's where I will unravel or exit. Brandon says naked calls are an infinite loss possibility. Exactly. And they tie up a healthy amount of margin on Google. One of the most expensive stocks on the internet, you know, on the stock market. So that's an evening star reversal. My plan is to get into a bear call spread if it breaks that evening star reversal. Bear call spread on Google. It's at a resistance of which it's been before. I did one similar on Amazon and it never triggered. Note it's attached below. Okay, and come over here, Google. I did a bull put spread recently. I mean, it's just at such a rock solid support. Now, remember, if you don't know anything about options, anything about bear call spreads, don't do this trade. It's going to go right over your head. But I can teach you. Just give me a few months of your time, ladies and gentlemen. You have to learn things, and things take time to learn. It doesn't matter what it is. If I want to learn real estate, I'm going to have to spend weeks, months, and years doing it. Or if I want to learn French, or if I want to learn how to cook, or if I want to learn how to dress better, whatever the case. But anything you're learning is irrelevant. You're going to have to spend some time doing it. Going to have to do that. All right. So now I'm going to come over into my swing journal. And as soon as this webinar is off, I will go set that up because credit spreads take a little bit longer. And first, bear call spread. Thomas Cook says, Jeremy, can you please do the salesman thing before signing off? I like these chats. Don't you have a special right now? Thomas, people are going to think I'm making that statement up because no one would ever say that. So I'm going to have to copy and paste your statement here in just a second because that sounds like I'm just baiting everybody. I know you did. I'm just saying no one else is going to believe that comment just came out of someone's mouth. Give me just a moment and I will make that happen. And then I'm going to go in turbo mode because I got to get going. I got stuff to do. Thomas, I'm going to copy and paste what Thomas said. That is an amazing thing. I do have a special going on, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to be part of real life trading, I'm only going to mention this once. I'm going to get right back into the charts just because Thomas asked. It's $179. That's how expensive it is. It is worth every dime. Normally, that would go for, if you bundled everything together last week, it was much more expensive, like by hundreds of dollars. So that includes the swing trading room. That includes the morning trading room. That includes Slack. You get the trading journal. You get direct access to myself and numerous moderators. You get all the recordings. You get the weekly options newsletter. You get everything you could want and much more. So that's pretty much it. It's $179. The link is in the chat pane. If you want access to it, cool. If you want to save a little bit of money, this bundle will save you a few $100 if you pay for the whole year up front. It's only $1,700. So that's really all I got. That's my sales pitch. If you want into real life trading, we're the best trading room on the planet. Matthew, email me and I will let you know. Sherry says, are you saying Google will make a bearish move? I'm saying this is an evening star reversal pattern at an all-time high at a resistance. And if it completes the evening star reversal, I will be more bearish than bullish. Yes. Cheryl says, Jeremy, are you in the morning room tomorrow? All day. Ram says, will we be coaching for option trading with a membership? Yes, I have plenty of option videos I can send you with the membership. Ram, you know we're here to help, man. We're not going to stiff you. If you're like, there's no upsell. Like if you go into this and you want more stuff, I'm going to give you more stuff. I got plenty of things to send you. And if I don't, we'll work something out. There's no like, hey, but that's $7,000. I don't have a $7,000 product, Ram. I'm sorry. So there's no upsell, man. So all I'm saying, if you want something, I got it. I'll give it to you. If you're a paying member of Real Life Trading, I'll help you out. Mark says yearly payments like getting 2 months for free. Correctamundo. You got it. All right, folks, I'm about to churn and burn. Here we go. I had a request for this one, QIWI. QIWI trading very sideways. Here's the weekly charts and the weekly chart on QIWI. Sorry, trading view is starting to slow down. It looks like a triangle pattern that's breaking out bearish. Higher lows, lower highs. Now, I will admit that there is this trend line on QIWI right here, and that's probably where we're going to get to. So if we're going to bounce, it's going to occur at about 1450. Short term, I'd be a little bit bearish. Long term, if you know what the company does and you like it fundamentally, I'd probably be looking at picking some up around 14 bucks. That's the IPO price right there. And then that's pretty much it. For now, at least, for now. I had another request for Equifax. Here's EFX. Jason says, what platform are you using? This is tradingview.com. So Equifax on the weekly chart broke out, and then it retested and then popped. So here's the daily chart, beautiful S-curve on Equifax. It's at a resistance, and ladies and gentlemen, this one is ready to move, it appears. Very nice request. I obviously did not catch that retest, unfortunately. But even with a data breach, somehow, apparently no Americans care about their social security numbers. It looks like we're S-curving, and that was a really good spot to buy right here. I missed that. Let's see if it breaks higher. I'm going to look at it tomorrow for Finance Friday. So I'm going to put on the list EFX. Next on the list, Procter & Gamble. Man, I don't know how I went so late. Sorry, guys. It's like 90 minutes long. Procter & Gamble hit the 100 on the weekly chart. This one, a lot of people are looking at playing long-term, and I do agree. It is a decent longer-term buy level. It's near the 100 on the weekly, and you're getting a morning star on a monthly chart. Procter & Gamble is a very good blue chip, long-term buy low, sell high, hold until it goes higher type of stock. The daily chart looks really good. I like the volume. If you're in Procter & Gamble, all you need is a breakout of that, and she should go higher. David Ward says you could do some leaps on this one. That is correct. Marilyn says, don't they have dividends? Yep, you got it. They do, in fact, have dividends. Absolutely. All right, Procter & Gamble. Here's Clorox, I believe. Nope, Colgate. Clorox is CLX. Colgate. Very similar to Procter & Gamble as far as just a good old steady, boring blue chip stock. It's at a support. 62.23. I mean, if you use toothpaste, you could have some shares of Colgate. This is a Warren Buffett classic. This is Warren Buffett 101 right here. I don't have any position on Colgate. Can't be in everything, but long term, this is where I would be buying, and I would have a trigger for some protective puts below 61. Otherwise, that's all I see on Colgate. It's Colgate. It's about as gray as it gets. Here is CRI, Corium International. No idea what this pharmaceutical company does, but it is volatile, and it just retested its IPO price. Here's the IPO resistance. It broke out. It's retesting it right now as we speak, so that's kind of cool. And the 100 crossed the 200 on the weekly, so that's kind of a little bit of a bonus, I guess. Daily chart looks like we're about to retest, and that's all I have on this one. This looks like a double bottom, close with a neckline, and we're retesting it. So if you're looking at playing bullish, it depends on your time frame. Could buy some there. Marilyn says this is an all-timer stock. Gotcha. Thank you, Miss Moss. So it could trade down to 8. Again, long term, it'd probably be where you'd want to snag something. I could see it going all the way, maybe even to 757, but that's where my stop would be on this particular pharmaceutical. I don't have any position in that one, but that's pretty much what I got. Got 4 left. All of these were added within the last 3 to 4 minutes of the webinar starting. EEM, Emerging Index Fund, very nice gap on the weekly. Very good gap. Wow. Right below all those wicks. That one's going to go a little lower. Yep. EEM, phenomenal gap. It gaps frequently. I think the best case scenario on that one, probably something like this and this. Almost unquestionable does that one go lower on EEM. Don't have any position on that one. Volume is kind of rough. Next on the list, about 400 requests for NVIDIA today. NVIDIA down 2%. And we talked about this one recently, and I mentioned I wanted a close above 264.14. Ladies and gentlemen, did we close above that yesterday? Answer, No, we did not. That's why I wanted to close above it, because it had already moved drastically bullish. John P has a bear call spread, so he's pretty happy. It expires next Friday, 267.50, 270 bear call. This is a little bit of a bearish engulfing pattern on NVIDIA. It's not the most bearish thing in the world, but I do think NVIDIA gets down to the 50 EMA and most likely retest these previous all-time highs over here. So something like this. It's not going to just go straight down, but something like that on NVIDIA. Next on the list, Micron Technology obviously had a gap up today and, did not hang. Tons of traders having some put sales on this one. Brad has one. Falco, did you buy back these put sales today? He says, yeah. All right. So MU, Falco is out, and Rob and Brad is out. So MU, if you're in, it doesn't seem any reason to get out. The weekly chart looks fine, and this gap was bullish today. So presently, it could come down to the 50, but if you're in Micron, just give it some time. I don't really see anything phenomenally insane about it. Here's the hourly charts and the hourly. If I were playing the hourly, I would look to buy it down here around 57 buckaroonies. And last but not least, 90 minutes later, Red Hat, RHT. This thing needed to get destroyed because it is just up way too far. 145.50. Wow. What a gap. Red Hat. I can almost already tell you what's going to happen on Red Hat, folks. Probably this. Almost for sure that gap will fill. People are going to go, wait, this was at 175? RHT post earnings. Pre-market. Just my thoughts. Likely, this gap ends up getting filled months from now. I'll look at doing a put sale or bull put spread at some point. I'll plan on going long in the future. Fitsum says, can we set it tomorrow? Yep, we'll be looking at it all day tomorrow. There probably will not be 1 minute that goes by where Red Hat is not on my watch list tomorrow afternoon. David says he bought some at 96. Mr. Holtzman, congrats on that trade, sir. Don says Red Hat down 20 points after hours. Yes, sir. You are absolutely correct. So I have that on the list for tomorrow morning. I got 4 from today that we're going to carry forward. I already have a pretty solid list for tomorrow, but tomorrow is the last day of the free week, ladies and gentlemen. I know that week went by very quickly. I hope many of you feel that you truly got value and that you enjoyed the sessions. I hope you enjoyed being a part of the room. And if you want more, if you need more, it's easily possible, certainly doable. Just sign up. Let me enrich your life. And I want you to help me enrich the lives of others. What stocks are we looking at tomorrow? I know a few of you want to look at Apple. I already have a few that we're going to be looking at tomorrow. And this is a list of some of those. AAOI, COTY will probably go 9. Well, actually, I'm going to go ahead and say now, I apologize. I can't go long tomorrow. I have a flight to catch right after. So tomorrow will be exactly 60 minutes. I'm going to go quick. Buckle in your seatbelts. Go over your analysis on these stocks. I will probably be postponing a lot of stocks until Monday because I'm not going to be able to go long tomorrow. So please, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to be a part of real life trading, sign up now so that you're not rushing to get your link right before market open on Monday. Thomas says, thanks, Jeremy. 179 is the deal. My OTA class was 1,000 plus. Yeah, man. Plus, that's a whole month. That's hours a day, 7 hours a day that you can be with me, trading with me, 7 hours a day. If you want it, It's yours for the taking. I'll see you all later. Love you guys. Bye.